Welcome to the ITIL for Practitioner Supplier Management Certification e-learning. We would like to first acknowledge AXELOS and PeopleCert as we have used their logos and guidance in preparing this material. Firstly, about One World Training. We are a global training and consulting company having offices in the USA, UK, the Netherlands, India, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, South Africa, and many other countries globally. We provide training in information technology, business management, project management, ISO standards, GDPR, and many other topics for individuals and organizations. One World Training delivers courses in 5 different ways. They can be public classrooms or online, that is virtual from home or work. Then we have e-learning or self-paced. Then we have a mix of e-learning along with support when you need. And lastly, on-site for both private and government organizations. We are authorized and endorsed by leading global professional bodies, and we can see some of those logos towards the bottom portion of this slide. For example, we not only have PeopleCert, but we also have PMI US, then we have EXIN in Europe, then we have the PeopleCert connected with other bodies as well, such as the IASSC, the International Association for Six Sigma Certification. And we also have the Gaming Works business simulations as well. Some of the other certifications that we are showing here are not only ITIL, but also Prince2, Projects in Controlled Environments. Then we have Prince2 Agile. We have Agile Shift, which is the transformation certificate for agility. Then we have MSP, Managing Successful Programs. We have MOR, Management of Risk. MOP, Management of Portfolios. MOV, Management of Value. P3O, which is Project Program and Portfolio Offices. Then we have the PMI certifications such as CAPM, PMP, ACP, and so on. And back to PeopleCert, we also have the SDI, the Service Desk Institute certifications such as the Service Desk Analyst and the Service Desk Manager. And the other PeopleCert ones are DevOps, Scrum, Scrum Basic and Advanced. And we also have PeopleCert Dev Skills, PeopleCert Lean IT, and the PeopleCert Six Sigma Lean certifications. And of course, the EXIN certifications as well. Lastly, we also have this special partnership with AXELOS, through which we are also an AXELOS consulting partner for performing maturity assessments for ITIL as well as the P3M3. P3M3 meaning Project Program Portfolio Management Maturity Models, which means we are authorized to assess the maturity of ITIL and P3 Project Program Portfolio for businesses globally. And we do that through interviews, checklists, by looking at your systems, tools, and evidences of the maturity levels before the certificate for a specific maturity level is awarded to the business. Here we have the ITIL certification scheme. This gives you a better view of the nature of the exam and the various certifications in ITIL. So let's walk through this briefly. So currently we are here, I'm marking this in yellow, Supplier Management, coded as SM. Supplier Management is one of the 5 certifications under the Collaborate, Assure, and Improve bundle. So at the top here we see, I'm just marking it right now, the Collaborate, Assure, and Improve bundle. So therefore, this Supplier Management makes up one of the 5 practices, ITIL practices within that bundle. And so you could either write each of these 5 exams separately, the supplier management, the information security, the relationship management, the service level management, and continual improvement, and obtain the 5 certificates, or you could even write a single exam for all the 5, which is the Collaborate, Assure, and Improve exam. So obtaining the Collaborate, Assure, and Improve certificate is the same as obtaining all the 5 separate certificates. So some people prefer to obtain the single certificate, which is a longer exam covering all the 5 practices, and some prefer to sit either or one or more of these 5 exams separately. Then we have above, we have the plan, implement, and control above that, which is another bundle made up of the 5 practices there, as you can see. And then at the top, we have the monitor, support, and fulfill bundle with the 5 practices, beginning with the service desk and the others. All of these together make up the practice manager certificate, meaning if you, let me mark it and show this to you again. So if you would like to become a practice manager, you would need to, of course, do the ITIL foundation, no doubt. And then you would have to also clear the create, deliver, and support certificate exam. And you need to complete any 5 of these certificates. So for example, you could do these 5 certificates, or you could choose, apart from the create, deliver, and support and ITIL foundation, you could choose some other 5, such as these 5 at the bottom. In fact, you are allowed to pick any 5 randomly. For example, I could pick up incident management here. I could pick up change and release management, and I could pick up continual improvement and service level management. So that also makes it 5, apart from the create, deliver, and support and the ITIL foundation that I marked earlier. I'm marking it again for you. Now, another option you also have is, some people like to pick up the bundle certificate, either the collaborate, assure, or improve, and then do the create, deliver, and support and the ITIL foundation to obtain the practice manager certificate. So there are many combinations possible to do this. In fact, it's even possible to pick up any of these 2 as well that I'm marking now, the business relationship management or the IT asset management, or both of them, and combine them with any other 3 from here. So change, for example, release, and then maybe supplier management. So if you did that, you got a total of 5, apart from the create, deliver, and support and the ITIL foundation. That will also fetch you the practice manager certificate. So this is one part of the story. The other thing is, if you notice, we also have the managing professional in the middle column there. To obtain this, you need to obtain several certificates. You need to do the direct plan and improve, as shown below, the create, deliver, and support, high velocity IT, drive stakeholder value, and the ITIL foundation. That will fetch you automatically the managing professional, meaning there is no separate exam or training for the managing professional, just like there is no separate training or exam for the practice manager. These are automatically awarded based on completion of the appropriate ones below them. And similarly, the last one here, the strategic leader certificate, is awarded automatically without a separate exam, as long as one completes the direct plan and improve, digital IT strategy, and the ITIL foundation. So, and if the learner has completed the practice manager, managing professional, and strategic leader, they automatically receive the ITIL master, meaning there is no separate exam or training for the ITIL master. And then there are other, at the extreme left, we have this acquiring and managing cloud services and sustainability and digital and IT. These do not count towards the ITIL master. However, as I mentioned earlier, these 2, business relationship and IT asset management, because the bar at the bottom is extending even to below those 2, therefore these can be counted towards your journey to the ITIL master, apart from the other practice certifications and the other certifications. And so hope this was clear. Otherwise, at the bottom, there are some footnotes. They are briefly explaining whatever I just explained in a lot more detail. And then proceeding further, we have just a little bit more. These are the learning outcomes for this training. And there are 7 modules or sections coming up in this course, and each of them will have a separate recording. Currently, we are in the introduction to the course recording. And after that, it will be followed by recording for section 1, which is understanding the key concepts of the supplier management practice. Then we move on to the 4 dimensions of service management. So number 2, 3, 4, and 5, these sections are related to the 4 dimensions of service management applied to the supplier management practice. So number 2 is the processes and value streams. Number 3 is the organizations and people dimension, so roles and competencies needed. Number 4 is about the information and technology dimension. We will be looking at the automation tools and recommendations for automation. In number 3, by the way, it's about the organization and people dimension, in which we will cover specific roles, such as the supplier manager and the supplier coordinator. And we will also cover how to structure the team, the supplier management team within an organization. Number 5 is about what can partners and suppliers do For supplier management, which is very interesting, it's like a recursive loop. I mean, it would be easy to acknowledge if I said, what can partners and suppliers do for incident management or for change enablement? But here we are looking at something even more interesting. What can partners and suppliers do, or what they can contribute for the supplier management practice? For example, can an organization utilize suppliers and partners to help with the supplier management itself? And that'll be going to be interesting. For example, can an outsourced supplier help an organization in a selection of suppliers? Anyway, leaving that aside for now, number 6 is the ITIL capability model, an overview of that, and then looking at how this model can be applied to the supplier management practice. Number 7 is the concluding lesson, applying the recommendations for practice success. So the exam is based on these 7 sections. Most of the marks in the exam, the 10 of the 20, are coming from section 1 and 2. In fact, 5 marks are reserved for section 1, 5 for section 2, which make up the 10 of the 20 questions in the exam. The remaining sections 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are worth the remaining 10 marks, which means those sections 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will have maybe somewhere between 1, 2, or 3 questions each. And we'll be having more clarity on that as we move from one section to another, or one learning outcome to another. So therefore, briefly, as I mentioned earlier, the learning outcomes are mapped to the sections as listed here. So number 1, the key concepts of the practice. Then 2, 3, 4, and 5 make up the 4 dimensions of service management for this practice, the relevance that is. 6 is the capability model. 7, recommendations for the practice success.